Sunday, the 19th of July, 2026. First quote is from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. But the eyes are blind, one must look with the heart. But the eyes are blind, one must look with the heart. That kind of fills in with today's reading. And by the way, if you did not get a chance to watch our service at 11 this morning, it will be on Facebook right now, created by Spiritual Center, and later this evening or tomorrow it will be on YouTube. Sorry. And I assure you, it was an uplifting message. Our messages will never make you feel guilty. They will uplift you. They won't tell you that things that you shouldn't be doing, but they will uplift you. They'll give you another way of looking at life, just like these readings here. And if you're in a position where you need to turn around and change your life, yeah, well, they can help you do that as well. So I'm not going to make excuses for what we've done in the past, but they will help you to change and move forward. So here is the reading for today. First quote's from someone I studied long ago, and for quite a while, actually. I'll get around to that in a second. We direct our own lives is the title of this. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well. And that was Julian of Norwich, who was a Middle Ages mystic. And, well, Reverend John Waterhouse says a little bit about her later, and I will too. And Ernest Holmes affirms, we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And of course, that's a continuation of what we believe, or originally what Ernest Holmes believed, or said he did. Goodness was one of the hardest concepts for me to embrace in my early days as the student of science of mind. For many years, I preferred the mystical concept that there is no good or bad, only what is. This implies that labels are determined by the observer. Yet it was impossible not to notice how often in his writings Ernest Holmes uses the word good. As a result, he says, I've come to believe that Ernest Holmes isn't making a moral claim, but rather identifying the nature of divine source. He expressed his understanding of source not as an indifferent or hostile, but as an exceedingly harmonious, life-giving, expansive, and fulfilling essence. In much the same way, Julian of Norwich, some 650 years ago, through her direct mystical experiences, described divine reality as unchanging goodness. He says, even in medieval Europe, she experienced the divine not as a punitive, resistant, or indifferent, but as a benevolent and life-affirming source. And I'm going to come back to this. I don't disagree with anything he said so far. I just want to come back to it, though. Ernest Holmes also saw eternal presence as compassionate and demonstrating through its eternal loving kindness and givingness without influencing our choices or direction. To me, the good of God is that we can direct our lives through a creative mind that transforms what we express into what we experience, and that is very, very good. Yeah, Julian of Norwich was one of the mystics that I studied, and probably the one that I kind of most identified with. She was what's known as an anchorite, or anchoress, which meant that she was attached to a monastery, or a nunnery, call it what you will, convent. And she lived in a, quote, cell, unquote. That's what they call the places they use, the individual living places. And it was on the outside of the facility. So people could come up and they could converse with her and they could get help, instruction, guidance from her. She had a bunch of mystical experiences, and her mystical experiences essentially were experiencing Jesus. But she was different in the fact that she didn't go with the standard Christian teaching at the time. You know, she went more with what has been expressed here as God as loving kindness. And it would not have gone down too well with the Vatican and other authorities, but apparently she had somebody who protected her, and we don't know who that was from the authorities. So her writings got put down, and her writings are available today. Look her up, Julian of Norwich, and it's spelled Norwich, Julian of Norwich. And she's really worth looking up. In fact, there were some mystical experiences that other people experienced through her many centuries later. So look her up. She's really worth looking up. It's my divine nature to be eternally good, kind, generous, and life-affirming. Oh, that's a pretty good affirmation, don't you? It's my divine nature to be eternally good, kind, generous, and life-affirming. And I think that is pretty good. So let's take a deep breath. Let it go. And I'm knowing the highest and best, the most life-affirming for each and every person who listens to, watches this recording. And I release this word in gratitude into that loving kindness law. And I say, and so it is. So Reverend Lisa, she will be around tomorrow, 9:15. I'll be back hopefully around about 5, unless my mediation goes on forever tomorrow. But until next time, namaste.